Alright, something happened with the last shoot. Okay, so we were in Nice, and I felt like I was like mildly like getting fucked with. You know, at that point, uh, I mean, uh, just all kinds of stuff. Like at one point, I had my knuckle. Anyways, not getting into it. So at this point, I am confronting. I just had my daughter. She's 3 months old. We just moved to Nice, have our own place. I'm starting to feel secure, and I'm starting to feel like I can relax a little bit, but then still feeling like these little things are happening. And something, one of the biggest moments for me was I was at my brother's house, and they smoke in the house. Some rooms they smoke in that don't even have an exhaust or a way to get out the smoke at all. And I stay in the front room with my daughter. My sister had come over, and I instinctively grabbed my daughter, and Eliana and I went into the room with smoke. And both Jacob and my brother were like, "What are you doing? What are you doing with the baby? Why did you bring the baby in here?" And I could all, Trista's here. Like, it just made sense. It was just calm. Like, Trista's here. But it really wasn't until I sat down and thought about that later that I was like, wow, I wouldn't want my daughter to be alone in the room with her ever once for any period of time at all. And that's when I really had to face the fact that I made a mistake by not trying to get help for her. I thought because I was the older sister, because I was the sister with the less messed up life, that, I should have known better. I couldn't be the victim. I couldn't, I knew it was never something I wanted, so I don't know how I didn't tie the two together, but it's just like, I just felt bad for her. She had cuts all over herself, and she had this horrible addiction and this horrible upbringing, and I just didn't want to be more bad, and I don't want to ruin her life. And so but once it came to my daughter, I was like, wow, maybe I should press charges. Maybe, my family talked me out of pressing charges. But I did try to make a report, and when I tried to make the report, they're like, oh, you want to keep it as vague as possible? And like, at that point, I know, okay, so she probably made a report here, and they think I'm the bad guy. Everyone thinks I'm the bad guy, and I mean, here I am, the other woman to a woman with disabilities, and now, I'm a sexual predator. It's like there was just no winning. I could not compete with the idea people had of me in their head. And I wanted to get away from Lake County. I always have. But so Jacob's working a cable job, which basically is super unreliable. It's the worst for my PTSD. Just like, I don't know when he's working, I don't know how long he's working. Sometimes he has breaks in between work. Sometimes he'd be at my brother's house smoking and playing video games in the middle of the day, or he'd come home and he'd have a beer on his mouth, and it was just like, it was really stressful for me. And I like reliability and dependability, and just like something I can know to count, I can count on. And anyways, I guess I'm getting broken of that, because I feel like every job he's looked for has inconsistencies and varying hours and stuff. So I've gotten better with that. And for as far as Jacob goes, like, honestly, I love him so much, and I still do. I feel like he, in many ways, is a victim in the situation, that he wasn't really given a choice. In a lot of the situations life has put on him, and I know he suffers from depression, not only from this situation, but all the situations. And we do what we can to be happy, and that's all I have to say about that. Is I think we both know that we're suffering, and we just try to make each other's lives okay. And it's beautiful, but it's also crazy. So, we're here, and we moved to Reading. Stayed with my sister for a few months before the landlord gave us notice. And that was really difficult, because it's my foster sister, and she has a lot of the same abandonment issues that I do. So a lot of the times it's like looking in a mirror at someone with the same emotion